channel, and if you're new, welcome. My name's Lisa. It's Tom MacDonald Tuesday, which means more reactions to Tom MacDonald music. Today's reaction is going to be to Tom MacDonald's song People So Stupid, and it is the music video for that song. Really looking forward to getting into this one. I've heard quite a lot about this one in particular. I've seen a lot of people reacting to it, a lot of reactors reacting to it on YouTube. So I am about to join those people and check it out and see what it's all about. So without further ado, let's get into it and see what Tom has for us in this one. Here we go. Ooh, those creepy eyes.
Hi! I'm praying that the world changes soon. Can't get a doobie on a plane, but there's Uzis in our schools. Every dude who touched a boob or a booty getting me tooed. What you expect from the kids who went to Hooters after school? We're all triggered and defensive. We're all racist and we're sexist. We all grew up watching South Park. How are we offended? Now being fat is beautiful. Name a thing that you can't do. Jumping jacks, run a mile, live past 42. Man, it used to be cool to just slip a bird to the system, and now it's trendy to be triggered and pretend you're a victim. It's my race, it's my weight, it's because I'm a Christian. I hate the internet and anyone who has an opinion. And everybody angry if you say white. Okay, fine. Pass me the brush and I'll paint my face to the shades right. Let's talk about abortion. Sorry, tell me how this works. Bacteria is life on Mars, but a heartbeat isn't life on Earth? Weird.
Oh, wow.
Why are y'all so stupid? Get better problems, I swear to God that y'all want them. Y'all so dumb. People so stupid, people so dumb. People so boo-hoo, wah, wah, wah. Get better issues, we're gonna run out of tissues, it's so dumb.
Wow, okay, I'm gonna pause it there straight off. Straight away he's going off. He's gonna cause, I have a feeling he probably caused a lot of controversy with this song and its lyrics, and just the visuals alone. The visuals are absolutely on point. I'm loving it. I mean, he's making some really great points about how it seems almost fashionable these days to be offended about anything and everything, and whereas a lot of those things are justified if you're the one that's on the receiving end of those things, and it really does make you feel something bad, but at the same time there's things that people get offended about that are a little bit ridiculous, frankly. So yeah, I mean, I can see where he's coming from, and I mean, again, the same with a lot of songs like this that Tom MacDonald does. I'm not sure exactly how many of these views he holds himself personally, or whether it is literally just that he puts these in the songs to cause controversy, to get people talking, to open up conversations. Regardless, either way, yeah, you may agree with a lot of things that he says and be one of those people that's like, yeah, agree with that, that's my point of view, that's my point of view. But there are a lot of things that I can see why they probably would have been quite controversial, because you know, he's kind of mentioning things like you know, bacteria is life on Mars, but heartbeat is not life on Earth. So it's the whole thing with regards to the whole abortion argument and stuff like that. Are you anti-abortion? Are you pro-choice? Essentially, that's kind of like the two arguments, the two sides. And again, like I said, I don't know where he stands with that argument, but the fact that he made that point, yeah, I kind of see where he's coming from there, where it's like, it's strange, really. They're both still lives. But having said that, I mean, my personal opinion on that, and I don't want to get too political and cause a huge argument on here, so please don't come for me, because your opinions might be different to mine. But me personally, I think I would say that everybody has the right to choose, and I'm not pro-abortion, where I sort of say, oh, you know, let's just have an abortion, you know, willy-nilly. You know, I think people should be allowed to just have an abortion whenever they feel like it, and you know, just it's not as cut and dry as that. In a lot of situations, those people make that very hard decision and they think long and hard on it. It's not necessarily an easy choice for most people to make. It is a very difficult choice, because essentially you are ending a potential life, something that could have been a viable life on this earth. So anybody that thinks that the majority of people that make that decision to do that make it very lightly and very easily, They really don't. The majority of people don't. Now, obviously, there's going to be an exception to that rule where some people just, unfortunately, they sleep around, or they just make the decision because it's just there. It's just available. The choice is available. The option's there. But and it doesn't seem to, there doesn't seem to be much thought that goes into it. They just literally do it on a whim. They're just like, oh, okay, like it's nothing. But the majority of people, I'm talking about most people, will not make that decision lightly. So with that said, I also happen to think that a person should make decisions for their own body. They should be allowed to make decisions for their own body. And I know, as you know, obviously as I'm filming this reaction, this was done, when was this done? 2020. I know it's been an ongoing thing for a while, and obviously recently there's this whole Roe v. Wade thing going on in the States, and it's shocking. It really is shocking, because they're slowly but surely taking away the rights of women, and even to the point of saying that teenagers, kids who have even been raped or molested, that end up getting pregnant, or just grown women in general, I'm not just talking about kids, but just people that have been the victim of rape or abuse, sexual abuse, and they have got pregnant that way, they're being denied abortions, and they're even being taken to court or being, threatened with imprisonment, because they don't want to continue with that. And you've got to think, I think you've got to think outside the box in terms of that, just with regards to making that decision. If we're talking, even if it's an adult woman, but in the case of, for example, a child, a teenager, if we're talking a 14, 15-year-old who has got pregnant through no fault of their own, they didn't consent to anything, they could have been raped, they could have been abused, they're being manipulated, brainwashed into being abused, to staying quiet about it, and they've got pregnant, why shouldn't they have the right to choose to terminate that pregnancy? Their bodies are only small, their bodies are still very young, they're still developing, and nobody, after going through that ordeal, I don't think, whether you're a child, whether a teenager, whether you're an adult, should be forced to carry on with that pregnancy, knowing that in the long run you might have to explain to that child where they came from, that they are the product of rape or incest or sexual abuse. And a lot of people will be like, well, yeah, but it's still a person, and they should have that right to kind of know that or whatever later on. That's up to them. But what happens later on if that screws them up, because they know that they actually weren't supposed to be here, and they are the product of something quite horrific and traumatic? And especially the whole resentment thing as well, if they get the slightest and I'm not saying that's going to be the case in every single instance like that, but what if they get the impression that they are resented because they're in the world, because they weren't supposed to be around, and that screws them up royally? Is it fair to really put a child through that because their parent, because their mother was forced to have that child through traumatic experiences? So, I don't want to dwell on this too long, because there's a lot of things that he said about the whole race thing, about, being, fat and things like that. But just in terms of that, I have to say I am very much pro-choice. I think everybody should have the right to choose. And the funny thing is, you've got a lot of people over in America that are anti-abortion, that are pro-life, and yet a lot of these same people do not give a damn about the children that are in the care system. How many of those people have adopted children in the care system that have been abandoned by their parents, in whatever situation? The parents couldn't afford to look after them, the parents were not fit to look after them, they were homeless, they were in difficult circumstances, they were abused. How many of those kids have been adopted by these so-called pro-life people, anti-abortion people, the people that say all babies matter, all children matter? What about the black and brown kids that are killed all the time? What are their rights? What about them? Or the indigenous children that have gone missing, that have turned up, whose remains have turned up under the grounds of residential schools in Canada and the States, and nobody's shouting about that. You don't hear these pro-life people, these anti-abortion people shouting about that, about the injustice of all of that. No. So in terms of that, that's very, very hypocritical, and it really, really gets me wound up. So like I say, I won't dwell on it too much. And please don't come for me, like I say, because that is my personal opinion. I'm very much pro-choice. I think people should have the right to choose. And you know, even if they have, that person hasn't got pregnant through incest or rape or sexual abuse or whatever, and they've just got pregnant because it's just one of those things, they could even be in a happy relationship, but everybody's circumstances are different. And what is the point if you've got pregnant and you know that you cannot afford to raise a child or give it everything that it needs? Why would you want to put yourself and that child through that, you know, a life of kind of deprivation? You know, or if you're not ready to parent a child, it's a big responsibility. It's a lifelong responsibility. You're literally a parent. Even if your children are grown and they have kids of their own and they have lives of their own, you are a parent until the day you die. You are a parent to that child, even an adult child. You are a parent to them. It is a lifelong commitment, literally a lifelong commitment. So if you're not ready for that, then I'm sorry, you should have every right to choose and say, no, I can't do this. This wouldn't be fair on me. It wouldn't be fair on the child. What about the rights of, you know, the rights and the well-being of the child being brought into an environment where they're actually not really wanted, or, you know, that somebody's not ready for them? So, I mean, yeah, like I said, I don't know whether these are his actual views or whether he's literally just causing controversy for the sake of causing controversy for the song and bringing up these points that everybody argues about and everybody has debates about. Either way, it is brilliant. The way it's worded, absolutely fantastic. The visuals go brilliantly with it. I love the fact that he's kind of like, you know, playing like a newsreader, and he's basically just a newsreader that's going rogue and he's just speaking, you know, facts, and he's just throwing opinions out there that are going to cause controversy live on air. I love that. And the visual, obviously, with him being crucified for having an opinion, absolutely brilliant. I think that's awesome. That really like drives it home. But yeah, I'm really enjoying this so far. He's making some great points. Like I say, even if you don't agree with everything that he says or everything that, you know, his opinions, or whether or not even if they're not his opinions, that he's, you know, all the things that he's just mentioned, regardless, you know, that it certainly, you know, starts conversations, and that's what we need to do. We need to have some sensible, diplomatic conversations about these sorts of things. And be civil about it, and just hear each other out, not jump down each other's throats all the time and sort of judge other people. You know, we have to appreciate that everybody has different opinions, but you can still be respectful of those different opinions. And again, it's all about sort of looking at things from a different perspective, you know, thinking about the bigger picture and thinking outside the box. So yeah, loving this so far. Anyway, I'm going to carry on now. I've probably just caused an argument on YouTube in the comments section, sorry. But yeah, I mean, it's things that are going on now in the States, and this is actually very relevant, especially particularly that topic of like, the whole Roe v. Wade and abortion thing and stuff. And yeah, it's crazy, you know, to think that's happening. And, you know, I'm reacting to this where it's kind of mentioning it. So anyway, yeah, let's carry on.
I'm a hater cause I can't relate to gay pride. Call me homophobic because I don't want to date guys. K-tight. I for one, I'm not surprised the world declined along the way. Give trophies to children for losing just cause they decide to play. We exercise our right to vote and hate the politicians. Ay, this is a democracy, it's partly your decision. Ay, this is weird, feels like this a different year. If I identify as a female, then when my balls and penis disappear. Children want a gender switch and hating men is feminist. Depression and anxiety are trendy, we're too sensitive. Invented 80 genders, mad the world is not accepting it. Then gave them more attention than normal women and men can get. What a contradiction, being human is so tragic. Focus on minorities, ignoring all the masses. Hallelujah, everyone. Activism saved the planet. No more plastic straws and paper, just paper straws wrapped in plastic. Congratulations.
Oh my god, that is a brilliant point. I mean, over here, certainly with regards to McDonald's and stuff, over in the UK, we have, now it's been sort of like I don't know how long ago it changed, a year or so ago, maybe. It could be even be longer. But we used to have kind of like the plastic straws wrapped in paper. Now it's kind of gone the opposite. Well, I say the opposite, but we've now got like paper straws wrapped in paper. Like I said, I don't know what it's like anywhere else, but it sounds like, you know, he's sort of like saying paper straws wrapped in plastic. It used to be plastic straws wrapped, you know, in, obviously to do with, you know, less plastic. It used to be like the other way around, but actually now they've totally reversed it, as if that's any better. You're still using plastic. Certainly, like I say, over in the UK, we've kind of like, you know, changed that completely, where it's now paper straws in paper. So yeah, it's a lot better for the environment in terms of that. But I'm just giving one example. I mean, we're still kind of, the Western world is still, you know, really bad for things like that, and there's still so much more that we can do. But at the same time, I do appreciate that you know, there is a lot being done. You know, certain companies and things are trying to rectify that and change that, so that we do have less plastic waste and things. But yeah, we could still do so much more. Okay, let's carry on. Loving the visuals, and the beat of this is awesome.
People so stupid, people so dumb, people so boo-hoo, wah, wah, wah. Yeah, better issues, we're gonna run out of tissues, it's so dumb. Look, I get it, it's like the world is going crazy. Seems like a school shooting happens almost daily. The racism, rape culture, hatred that we're facing is way too ingrained for our hashtags to change it. We've become so lazy and complacent, afraid of our generation. We think activism's Instagramming memes and complaining. It's a problem when there's actually actions you could be taking, but you're triggered, so you just cry like a baby.
So that I agree with. Actions speak louder than words. If you don't want that sort of thing, do something about it. Don't just talk about it.
People so stupid, people so dumb, people so boo-hoo, wah, wah, wah. Yeah, better issues, we're gonna run out of tissues, it's so dumb.
Oh, brilliant. Yeah, another brilliant video shot by Nova. Of course, it had to be Nova. I think all of these videos are shot by Nova, so it shouldn't come as any surprise anymore just how brilliant the videos are. It's always her that does it. But yeah, absolutely loved this. I mean, I'm not gonna say much more about it because I've kind of ranted throughout this video enough. But yeah, just some brilliant points made. And like I say, regardless of whether they're his own views or whether he's just put, you know, sort of, you know, thrown them out there to raise awareness and to draw attention to them and to get people talking about it, and hopefully try and resolve these issues. It doesn't matter, you know, he's made some brilliant points, and they are points that a lot of people will debate and argue. And like I say, that's fine. Debate is brilliant. Conversation is brilliant. That's what we need more of. But as long as you're respectful and you know, you sort of like hear other people out, and you try and look at things from a different perspective, not just be closed-minded and just be inside your own head and kind of dismiss other people's views and opinions as just being a load of BS. You know, you have to think outside the box. You have to look at things from a different point of view and put yourself in someone else's shoes, and yeah, just be kind and respectful about it. You know, we can all have different opinions, but just don't put others down, you know, for theirs. Just, you know, if it's a dangerous opinion that someone's got with regards to things like hate and racism and prejudice and stuff like that, then, you know, that's kind of a little bit different, where you know, you sometimes have to sort of, you know, you feel like you want to try and get people to change their view, but there's a lot of people out there that unfortunately they're so set in their ways and in their opinions that they will not change, and sometimes they just have to come round on their own. You're not going to change their mind. You can try, but obviously, again, still be respectful, and don't be surprised if some of these people will not change their opinion. Everybody is different, and sometimes they just maybe have to come round on their own, and you know, if it doesn't affect them you know, personally or directly, then, you know, sometimes people just can't seem to think outside the box. They can't seem to see a different perspective, and you just have to make that decision, I guess, whether to have those people still around and just accept their views and to just agree to disagree. But then sometimes you just have to let people go if they don't fit into how you want to feel about the world and what you want to do to change the world and make it better. Then, you know, sometimes you have to let those people go and just cut your losses, really, in a sense, and just say, you know, I don't want somebody like that around with those kinds of hateful opinions and that kind of prejudice and hate in their heart. And you know, I choose to surround myself with like-minded people that kind of want to make a difference, that want to make a change for the better. I myself have had to do that with a couple of people over different things, and or it's very arm's length, where, you know, I have to sort of like distance myself, and it's difficult, it's hard, especially if you've known those people for a long time, or even if they're family. That's probably even harder because you might see those people on a regular basis, but you've got to kind of just say, right, that's it, you know, we're not going to talk about this subject. You've got your opinion, I've got mine, they're different, fair enough, I'll respect yours, you respect mine, and we'll agree to disagree, but, you know, we're just gonna kind of just let it go. But anyway, I thoroughly enjoyed this. Like I say, the beat was absolutely awesome, the instrumental, great arrangement. The video obviously was shot by Nova, so of course it's going to be spectacular. Loved the visuals, and yeah, his delivery on this made some brilliant points, and hopefully opened up some conversations and got people thinking, hopefully from a different perspective, and sort of seeing it from other points of view. Loved it, absolutely brilliant. So if you enjoyed it too, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe for more Tom MacDonald Tuesday reactions, and reactions to other artists every Thursday and Sunday. And I will see you in the next one. Please be kind in the comments section to me and to each other. I don't want to start any major rows. That wasn't my intention, but I just wanted to throw my personal opinions of a couple of things out there. But yeah, so please be nice. Thanks for watching. Bye guys.
You're making it brighter right through the gray.